Hey guys, Ben from Pivot, and today I'm giving my recap on the 2022 federal budget in words that real human beings use. And look, a bit of a mixed bag with the budget, got a bit of mixed reviews, but look, the interesting thing, I think, thinking bigger picture about investing as a result of the budget, looking at the forecasts that are there, that the economy is looking quite strong. There has been a big uplift since the forecast from the budgets from last year, which I think is really positive for jobs, job security, people's wealth positions, and ability to grow investments and what the outlook means moving forward. We've got some strong employment income growth projected. And I think that the reality is that in the past, a lot of times that has been forecast but hasn't actually come through. However, in my view, with the ultra low unemployment rate at the moment, I think the lowest for like 48 years or something. And that projected to continue and seeing strength within the economy, I think that the wages growth will be there, which is good, obviously, for people that earn wages, but it's also good for housing affordability, ability for investments, jobs, and investment markets moving forward as well. So I think on those sides, really, really positive. Worth noting, a little bit, I suppose, maybe less interesting from a not just direct tax cuts perspective, but the fact that there has been a significant improvement to the budget's bottom line from the previous estimates, and the fact that the government has chosen to not just spend all of that cash on buying votes, but instead to actually repair the state of the economy, again puts us in a stronger position moving forward, which I think should be a relief. It sort of sits below the surface, but should be a relief for a lot of people and give us confidence in the outlook and our ability to deal with future crises, not necessarily just COVID type crises, but economic downturns and share market downturns as well. So I think on that front, positive. Look, in terms of the actual measures that have come about from the budget, there have been a few things. The first big one that got a lot of headlines, and for good reason, is the reduction in the fuel excise. So 22 cents per litre cut in the fuel excise for the tax on fuel for 6 months, which they have been told will flow through to Bowsers because they're going to look at it quite closely and crack down on retailers and anyone that doesn't pass that on. So I think that's a welcome news. I think we've seen sky high Bowser prices over the last little bit, so a bit of relief there is very welcome. Second one, the government have reduced a lot of red tape around employee share schemes, particularly for startup businesses, which has been really, I think, welcome. It means that for unlisted companies in particular, that employees can put up to $30,000 per year into unlisted unexercised options. And then there's a number of other measures around removing red tape there, which I think is really great. In terms of tax, and the big one was the extension of the lower middle income tax offset, where people that are earning up to $90,000 a year will get an extra $420 back at tax time. Happy days. And for people above 90,000 up to around 126,000, although the scaling of that is a little unclear, but that benefit reduces down. So I think that's good. It's a few extra bucks at tax time, which is always appreciated. And for lower income earners, that there has been a reduction in the Medicare levy threshold. The threshold for individuals, couples, and for pensioners as well. The other big one, I think, which is really, really important and super helpful, is that helping people get into their first homes faster. So the government have the first home saver guarantee scheme, which basically helps people that are buying property with a deposit that's less than 20% to avoid having to pay lenders' mortgage insurance, which can be really significant, up to 3% of the property value. So into the tens of thousands of dollars. And they've expanded that program to give up to 50,000 places per year, which is more than double the current number. I think it's 20,000 places at the moment. It will allow people to get into first homes with using only a 5% deposit, or for some families, so single parents, will be able to get in using only a 2% deposit, which I think is really great for helping people, housing affordability, and helping people get into the property market sooner. Another big one, which is actually a huge planning opportunity for first home buyers, is the expansion of the First Home Super Saver Scheme. First Home Super Saver Scheme allows people to put pre-tax income into their superannuation and then withdraw the money from super and use that to purchase a first home. The current rules were that you could do up to $30,000 for your home, but they've extended that to $50,000, which means for an individual it's 50K, but for a couple it's $100,000. So you can put $50,000 or $100,000 of your pre-tax income into superannuation, get a tax deduction for that, and then withdraw the money to use it to purchase your first home. So that's a big tax saving, firstly, and it's also a significant chunk of change that gets you a long way to getting your deposit in place. So I think that's really great. Look, there are some really important risks to be aware of if you're going to go down that path, and especially if you're thinking about doing it to the tune of 50 or 100K, because investing money into superannuation, that your money is subject to market movements. So you need to be really careful. And there is one particular risk around when people's incomes are increasing and therefore marginal tax rates are increasing, that you can end up paying more tax on the way out. So if you're thinking about going guns blazing into that strategy, please get some good advice. Make sure that you're across all of the rules before you jump in. So make sure that you get the results that you're looking for. In terms of other benefits for businesses in particular, and there were a number, but there's been an expansion of the apprentice and trainee benefits for businesses. So subsidizing wages to the tune of $15,000 per year for trainees and apprentices. There was some mention, and I still haven't seen the details come through anywhere, but on an extension of the existing benefits for professional training and education for team members, where there have been subsidies available of up to $28,000 for new employees to get them to just do skills training. Any sort of short courses can potentially give business owners a benefit of up to $28,000 a year if it complies with the rules, and they are quite complex. So if you've got new team members and you're a business owner, you could be eligible for a benefit of up to $28,000 a year. Look into the rules, and because it could be seriously worth it, especially for growing businesses and those that bringing new people in over the last little bit. The other thing for businesses is that the government is allowing you to deduct essentially 120% of any technology spend moving forward. So a lot of businesses are already spending a lot of money on technology, IT services, softwares, and those sorts of things, that you'll be able to deduct 120% of the cost as a business expense and get more back as a deduction, which is great. And the same for any money spent on skills and training for teams as well. You deduct 120% of that expense. In the budget, there were also a number of benefits for the lovely ladies out there. Firstly, around women's safety, I think this is really great to see. $1.3 billion spent by the budget to support women for domestic violence and harassment, and providing shelter and access to people to exit relationships. Very welcome. Also, some benefits around women's health issues to support women to be healthier, which is great to see. And some, I think, $50 million in one sector, and another $482 million around women's career development and training programs. So for people that are for the ladies out there that are looking to grow and develop their careers, look into the support that's available there, because you could get a bit of support there to help make things easier and reduce the cost of that for you. There was also a $250 one-off payment to people to help with cost of living pressures. So basically, if you're already on a government benefit, you get a $250 free kick straight away. Expansion of the PBS, the pharmaceutical benefit scheme, seeing more drugs on there to help cancer treatments and a whole range of conditions, which is awesome, as well as reducing down the threshold that you need to spend up to on medical stuff before you start getting more heavily discounted pharmacy medications as well. And the last but not least, it was the expansion of the parental leave scheme, where they're now offering 20 weeks of combining the dad and partner pay in with the paid parental leave scheme to allow both mums and dads to take that flexibly over the time that's there. So, guys, I hope you found that helpful. Share it with anyone that you think would get benefit out of this, and I'll catch you next time.